What if I told you that Japanese rice farmers discovered a psychological hack 1,500 years ago that neuroscience is only now proving actually rewires your brain for success? And what if the reason you're stuck right now has nothing to do with your work ethic, your intelligence, or your circumstances, but everything to do with the fact that you're celebrating at the wrong time? Stay with me because this sounds insane, but by the end of this video, you're going to understand why some of the most successful people in Japan, from Olympic athletes to billionaire CEOs, practice this weird ritual where they celebrate their goals before they achieve them. And no, this isn't toxic positivity or manifestation BS. This is neuroscience, wrapped in ancient wisdom, and it's about to change how you think about success forever. This is Yoshuku, and you've been doing goal setting completely backwards your entire life. Let me take you back 1,500 years. Picture ancient Japan. You're a rice farmer, and your entire survival depends on one thing: the harvest. No harvest, no food. No food, you die. It's that simple. But here's the problem. Rice takes months to grow. You plant in spring, and you don't know if you'll succeed until fall. That's 6 months of back-breaking work, 6 months of uncertainty, 6 months of anxiety eating away at you. So what did these farmers do? Something that, on the surface, seems completely insane. Before they even planted the seeds, they threw a massive celebration. They drank sake, they danced, they sang songs about the abundant harvest they were about to have. They acted as if the harvest had already happened, as if the rice was already overflowing from their baskets. They called this Yoshuku, which literally translates to celebrating in advance or pre-celebration. Now, you might be thinking, okay, cool folklore, but what does this have to do with me achieving my goals in 2025? Everything? Because what these farmers accidentally discovered was a psychological principle that modern neuroscience has spent millions of dollars researching. And when you understand how this works, you'll realize why you keep setting goals and never achieving them. Here's where this gets wild. Your brain has this thing called the Reticular Activating System, or RAS. Think of it as a filter that decides what information your brain pays attention to and what it ignores. Right now, there are millions of pieces of information hitting your senses. But your RAS filters out 99% of it, only letting through what it thinks is important. And here's the key. Your RAS decides what's important based on what you've told it to focus on through your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. When you set a goal the normal way, I want to lose 30 pounds, or I want to make 6 figures, your brain registers that as something you don't have. Your RAs then constantly shows you evidence of your current reality. The belly fat, the small bank account, the distance between where you are and where you want to be. This creates what psychologists call cognitive dissonance. The painful gap between your current reality and your desired reality. And you know what your brain hates? Pain. So what does it do? It either makes you give up on the goal or keeps you in a constant state of stress and anxiety. But Yoshuku flips this entire script. When you celebrate in advance, when you emotionally experience the success before it happens, something incredible occurs in your brain. Your RAs starts filtering reality differently. Instead of showing you all the evidence of why you can't succeed, it starts highlighting opportunities, resources, and pathways toward that success. There's a famous study from the University of Chicago where they took basketball players and split them into 3 groups. One group practiced free throws physically every day. One group did nothing. And one group only visualized making free throws. Feeling the ball leave their hands, seeing it go through the hoop, experiencing the emotional high of success. The visualization group improved almost as much as the physical practice group. The group that did nothing obviously didn't improve at all. Your brain doesn't fully distinguish between vividly imagined experience and real experience. When you celebrate in advance, you're literally creating neural pathways as if the success has already happened. But here's where most people screw this up. Western culture has taught us that celebration comes after achievement. You graduate, then you celebrate. You get the promotion, then you pop the champagne. You lose the weight, then you buy the new clothes. We've been conditioned to delay gratification, to suffer first and enjoy later. And look, I'm not saying hard work doesn't matter. Absolutely does. But this delayed celebration model creates a psychological trap. When you only celebrate after achieving something, you're training your brain that joy, fulfillment, and positive emotion are scarce resources that must be earned through suffering. Your brain starts to associate success with exhaustion, stress, and grinding. And here's the brutal truth. Most people never reach their big goals. Which means under this model, they never get to celebrate at all. They spend their entire lives in the grinding phase, waiting for permission to feel good, waiting for external validation to feel proud. This is why so many successful people are miserable. They finally achieve the thing. They celebrate for like 48 hours, and then immediately set a new goal and go back into suffering mode. The hedonic treadmill keeps spinning. Yoshuku breaks this cycle because it puts the positive emotion first. You're not waiting for permission to feel successful. You're not outsourcing your happiness to future circumstances. You're generating the feeling now, which then creates the energy, motivation, and perception shifts needed to actually achieve the goal. The Japanese rice farmers understood something profound. The celebration isn't the reward for the harvest. The celebration is the harvest. The joy is the point. The success is just a byproduct. Let me show you how this works in the real world. Yoshuku isn't just ancient philosophy. Modern Japanese athletes, entrepreneurs, and performers actively use this technique. And it's spreading globally among high performers. Japanese Olympic athletes have been documented practicing Yoshuku before major competitions. They visualize themselves on the podium. They feel the weight of the medal around their neck. They imagine their national anthem playing. They celebrate the victory before the race even starts. But here's what makes Yoshuku different from standard visualization. It's not just mental imagery. It's emotional embodiment combined with actual celebration rituals. Some practitioners will throw themselves a literal party before launching a business. They'll invite friends, give a toast about their successful company, talk about it in past tense, as if it's already thriving. They'll create physical artifacts, photos, certificates, symbolic objects that represent the achieved goal. One Japanese entrepreneur I researched created a mock magazine cover with himself as the featured business person of the year. 2 years before he actually achieved that level of success. He hung it in his office and looked at it every day. 3 years later, he was actually on that magazine's cover. Coincidence? Maybe. But probably not. Because here's what was happening. Every time he saw that fake magazine cover, his brain was processing it as real. His RAS was scanning the environment for opportunities that aligned with that reality. His behavior was subconsciously adjusting to match the identity of someone who would be featured on that cover. The celebration created the conditions for the success, not the other way around. Now, before you go throw yourself a premature party, I need to address the elephant in the room because I know some of you are thinking this sounds like delusional manifestation culture. And I don't blame you. There is a dark side to Yoshuku if you do it wrong, and there is a difference between this and toxic positivity. First, Yoshuku is not about denying reality or pretending you've achieved something when you haven't. The rice farmers still planted the seeds. They still did the work. The celebration didn't replace the action, enhanced it. If you celebrate getting a six-pack while sitting on your couch eating Cheetos and never going to the gym, you're just delusional. That's not Yoshuku. That's fantasy. Second, research shows that people who only visualize success without coupling it with action planning and recognition of obstacles actually perform worse than people who don't visualize at all. This is called positive fantasizing, and it drains your motivation because your brain thinks the work is already done. The key difference with Yoshuku is this: you celebrate the feeling and the identity of the achieved goal, but you stay grounded in the present moment actions required to get there. You celebrate being a successful business owner, then you sit down and do the actual work of building the business. You celebrate having a fit, healthy body, then you go to the gym. The celebration generates the energy and identity shift, but the discipline executes the plan. Third, Yoshuku works best with approach goals, not avoidance goals. I want to build a thriving business works better than I want to escape my dead-end job. I want to feel energized and strong works better than I don't want to be fat anymore. Your brain moves toward what you focus on. Make sure you're celebrating something you want, not just the absence of something you don't want. Alright, so how do you actually practice Yoshuku? Here's a practical framework you can start using today. Step 1. Get clear on the end state. Don't just think about what you want to achieve. Think about who you'll be when you've achieved it. How will you feel? How will you carry yourself? What will your daily life look like? What identity will you embody? Step 2. Create a celebration ritual. This is where you get creative. Your pre-celebration needs to be emotionally charged and physically embodied. Some ideas. Throw yourself an actual party with friends, where you announce your success in past or present tense. Create a physical artifact like a certificate, trophy, or symbolic object. Write a letter from your future successful self to your present self. Make a mock-up of the outcome, the magazine cover, the business card with your new title, the after photo you'll eventually take. Plan a meaningful experience that represents the achievement. Step 3. Generate the feeling daily. This isn't a one-time thing. The rice farmers celebrated regularly throughout the growing season. You need to tap into the feeling of accomplished success daily, even if just for 5 to 10 minutes. Close your eyes, step into the reality where you've already achieved it, and feel it in your body. What does success feel like? Let yourself experience gratitude, pride, joy, relief, whatever emotions match your achieved goal. Step 4. Bridge to present action. This is crucial. After the celebration, after the visualization, you ask yourself, what would the version of me who has already achieved this do today? Then you do that thing. The celebration energizes you. The action makes it real. Step 5. Trust the process. Here's the hardest part. You have to detach from the timeline. The rice farmers didn't know exactly when the harvest would come. They trusted the process. You're not celebrating to control the outcome or force a specific timeline. You're celebrating to shift your identity, energy, and perception so you become the person who naturally achieves that outcome. Here's why this matters beyond just achieving goals. Yoshuku is ultimately about changing your relationship with time, success, and happiness. Most of us live in a state of perpetual not yet, not successful yet, not happy yet, not there yet. We're constantly in the future, treating the present moment as just a stepping stone to some better later. But what if there is no later? What if this, right now, is it? Yoshuku asks you to bring the future into the present. to experience the joy now, to be the person now. Not as a trick or a hack, but as a fundamental truth about how success actually works. You don't become successful and then feel successful. You feel successful, embody success, and the external world eventually catches up. The rice farmers celebrated the harvest before it grew because they understood that the quality of their energy and intention during the planting and growing season directly affected the outcome. They couldn't control the weather or the pests, but they could control their state of being. You can't control the economy, the job market, other people's decisions, or a million other variables that affect your success. But you can control your state. You can control whether you approach your goals from a place of lack and anxiety, or from a place of abundance and joy. And that state makes all the difference. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one goal that matters to you. Just one. And this week, celebrate it as if it's already happened. Throw yourself a party. Make a toast. Create something physical. Feel it in your bones. Be delusional for a day. Let yourself fully experience the joy and pride of having achieved it. Then wake up the next morning and take one concrete action toward making it real. Do this consistently. Celebrate first, act second, and watch what happens. Watch how opportunities start appearing. Watch how your motivation shifts. Watch how the path becomes clearer. The ancient rice farmers knew something we forgot. Life is not a postponed celebration waiting for the right moment. Life is the celebration. The harvest is just an excuse to recognize what was always there. So stop waiting for permission to feel successful. Stop delaying your joy. Stop treating the present moment like it doesn't matter. Celebrate now. Become it now. The results will follow. That's Yoshuku. And that's how you actually achieve your goals. If this shifted something for you, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comments what you're going to pre-celebrate this week. I'll see you in the next one.